First segment is called Good Franchises Stay Good, and they stay good for a reason. Good teams do not mess around in the draft. They go in with a plan, and they identify their needs, and they identify their weaknesses. They trade up to go get their guys. They don't care about the late round picks as much. If you identify a guy, you go up and get him. And I'm not saying all the teams did this, but the three teams I want to talk about that I just thought had killer drafts here were the Dallas Cowboys, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Philadelphia Eagles here. The Cowboys got the best player in the draft. I don't care what anyone says. Caleb Downs is an absolute superstar. He's the best player eligible in this draft class, regardless of positional value. I don't care that he's a safety. I don't care that he plays a less valuable position. This guy is a superstar. This guy is going to be a face of franchise type player. You're going to see this guy on billboards all over the city of Dallas, America's team. Obviously, Dallas has not been good for, many years, but we're talking all-time historic franchises here. There's a reason these teams stay relevant. They identify players who are good. They identify stars, and they go out and get them. Miami, the Dolphins, it was sitting right there for you. All you got to do is take Caleb Downs, the best player in the class. He fell to your lap at 11. You have the worst secondary in the NFL, and you didn't take him. I don't know why you did that. And then you took Caden Proctor, who I like, by the way, but I didn't think that was your biggest need. So, again, this is not going to harp on the Dolphins. We're going to keep this positive vibes here. Positive vibes only. No negative vibes. We're not doing bad franchises stay bad, but that is what happens at the end of the day. It's like the Jets, Browns, Dolphins. There's a reason bad teams stay bad, and there's a reason good teams stay good. The next team, the Baltimore Ravens. I thought the Ravens had a killer draft, as they always do. I feel like every year they dominate the draft. They just go out and get exactly what they need at a high pick with a good value position, and they're just smart in their drafts. They're smart. They don't mess around. They attack their needs. They attack need and value at the same time, which I think is impressive, because some teams just do one or the other. Some teams only draft on need, it seems like, and some teams only go for best player available. So their first four picks I thought were absolute fire. Absolutely fire by Baltimore. Olave Vega Ioane, Zion Young, edge defender from Missouri in the second. Jacoby Lane from USC, wide receiver, who some are saying this guy has better potential than his own teammate, Mekhi Lemon. I don't think that's off base. I've watched the tape. I've matched him up similarly. Lane is a better athlete. Lane can jump higher. Lane is almost more of a contested catch guy. He might have a higher ceiling than Lemon does. Lemon obviously went to the Eagles, which is my next team we're going to get to. But the Ravens also drafted Elijah Surratt then. That is crazy. You got Jacoby Lane and Surratt in your first four picks. Those are two stud receivers who I thought could both go in the second round, if we're being honest. So that is extremely good value for them. A reliable pass catcher, good hands, and Elijah Surratt played in big games, big moments for Indiana Hoosiers, national champion. That guy's a winner. That guy's an absolute stud that you want in your locker room. Good teammate, good leader for the other receivers. And that helps Lamar Jackson. Again, I have never loved the Baltimore Ravens receiving core outside of from Zay Flowers. I think that's two reliable weapons that Lamar can throw to right away next year and are going to be ready to play week one. We're doing dynasty rookie drafts later this week with my boy Beckett Mesco from Fantasy Life. He's a diehard Ravens fan. He's coming on to just rave about Jacoby Lane because I know he is super excited for him. And I told him, I was like, I don't blame you, man. This guy's going to be a stud. And again, they had a need at guard, and they took Vega. Ioane was the best guard in the draft. It was not even close. Best interior O-line prospect. And the best part about that pick was a lot of people, before the draft, a lot of people were saying, like, oh, maybe they'll take Mawanoa or Fano or whoever and try to move him into guard, a tackle into interior. And it's like Trevor Sigma was on this show saying, if you're just going to draft a guard or someone to play guard, why don't you just take the best guard in the class, as in Vega Ioane? And they absolutely did that. The Vega's tape was phenomenal. It was better than I thought it was even better than Mawanoa's, if I'm being honest. But obviously, there's a little different positional value. Mawanoa has a higher ceiling. Going to be a tackle at the next level, of course. But yeah, I just really love the Ravens draft, and they're a damn good franchise. And there's a reason why they've stayed good for so long. There's a reason why they stay relevant. They hit on their picks. They identify their weaknesses, and they go out and attack them. So I got a lot of respect for the Ravens GM and what they're able to accomplish. I think Zion Young could be a steal too. I think that's a very good edge rusher that they need. I think he's going to be better than Mike Green in that on that defensive line, truly. I like Zion Young's. Eli Drakowitz raves about him, head coach at Missouri, raves about his pass rushing ability and the potential he has. Dude could be a special player. So I got on the Ravens. Last team about good franchises staying good, and we mentioned it a little bit with the Mekhi Lemon pick. The fact that the Philadelphia Eagles got Mekhi Lemon at pick 20 by trading up, I mean, they did it again. Howie Roseman did it again. I know it's the cliche saying, but how does he keep getting away with this? Right in front of the Steelers, who were about to take him too. That is just some wild work right there by Howie Roseman. But again, I was not as high on Lemon as the other receivers. He's a little lower in my consensus, but he couldn't have gone to a better landing spot. A team who absolutely needs receivers now with A.J. Brown up in the air. Devontae Smith will now become the 1, which I think we all believe he's capable of. Mekhi Lemon is now your 2. That's insane. That's a great 1-2 punch for Jalen Hurts right there. I just think, like, Lemon is the type of player that if he went to a bad team like the Dolphins or like a wrong system, like, it was not going to work. But the fact that he's on Philadelphia Eagles now, this is like the perfect receiver for them. They know how to use these guys in their offense and incorporate them. He's going to be a steal, I think. And I think he's absolutely going to be a great player now because he's in Philly. Mekhi Lemon, that is. But if he went to like Cleveland Browns or, someone probably wouldn't pan out. But I just think it's one of those things where it's like, this is how good franchises stay good. They identify those players. Howie Roseman did it again, and I think that's going to be a steal for them at pick 20s.